Aloha, welcome to ThinkTech Hawaii. This is Neenz Feleafine. I am your host of Reaching Out. We discuss the social side of the internet, and we pull people out from beyond the screen and bring them here to talk story. My guest today was born and raised on Oahu. He grew up on a dairy, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. And he aspired to be a cow. Instead, this is what he's created. He is the lead vocal for a rock reggae ska band, one of my favorites, Pimp Bot. Radio host on Alt 105.9, and the full-time blogger at HMSA's Health and Wellness site, being808.com. He's a husband, father, and a love machine. Please welcome Fernando Pacheco.
Thanks for having me.
How's it?
It's our first time meeting in real life.
I know.
Yeah? It's like I'm Facebook poking you right now.
Yes.
It's like, real.
It's like real.
It's so real.
Yeah.
I love this.
Reach out and touch someone.
I know.
And it's been years since we've been connected, and I've been following your work,
Yeah.
which we're going to bring up.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if you knew I was following your work. However, I remember back in the days when you were on another radio show.
We can talk about Hudson and Scotty B.
Hudson and Scotty
Star
B,
101.9.
yes.
Yeah.
And I remember they always referred this to Fernando, the Love Machine Pacheco, and I was like, who is this man? And the women would call in, win time with you, like that was an incentive for people to call in. So how did you get the name, the Love Machine?
Well, in radio, everyone's names, it's rare that someone chooses their own name. Otherwise, you would have all these like cheesy guys trying to sound super cool.
Yes.
It's always something really
like the
dorky.
internet.
Yeah, and you're christened with something that you kind of hate. It just irritates you.
Right.
And so such was the thing with me. I was working in the promotions department at Star. Hudson and Scotty B had a relationship expert.
Okay. Yes.
As a guest.
I remember.
She came out with a new book. They wanted to test some of her theories to see, if how knowledgeable she is. Does she have the stuff to create relationships?
I remember that, like, go on a date.
That came later, but
okay.
yeah. And so this is my first time out. They said, this single guy in our promotions department, we're just going to send him out to a Starbucks. I had an earpiece, and she was just feeding me lines as far as like what to tell women. So I spent, about an hour or two just picking up women in a Starbucks.
Yeah. Did it work?
Morning.
Did you get a date?
Well, see, the whole thing it wasn't about actually landing the date right there. It's about establishing a bridge. So it would even pay off to speak to married women.
Okay,
Because you start a bridge, a connection. It's like, oh, wow, that guy is really nice. Should you ever run into each other again? She's like, you know what, that guy would be perfect for my friend. So that was kind of her way. I don't know if she was just copying out of it because it wasn't working, and maybe that's my fault, I don't know. But during that whole stunt, one of the callers called in, and he said, oh, you just can't call him Fernando. You got to call him Fernando, the Love Machine. And then it just took off from there, and I've tried to kill the name. I wasn't always in radio since then. I had about a 4-year gap where I thought, I'm going to put that radio chapter behind me, and you can't kill the Love Machine.
And you're still in radio though, on Alt 105.9?
Alt 105.9, yeah. So it's the new version of KPOI. People might remember, right? So it's still the same call letters, KPOI.
KPOI, okay.
Yeah, so it's an alternative station, 90s and up, as far as alternative goes.
And only alternative, you got people on your show?
Yeah, we got guests, people coming in through. Probably the biggest one recently was Gavin Rossdale from Bush, because he was here to do that sunset on the beach, Hawaii 5-0.
Hawaii 5-0, and he was in an episode.
You're right.
Yeah.
So before soundcheck, the day before of the red carpet event, he came into the studio and talked story for a while.
Yeah, so it seems like rock stars, hip-hop artists, musicians, they're all going the way of television shows, acting.
Yeah.
Right? You too?
If I would. I've been to many Hawaii 5-0 auditions.
Have
the
you?
cattle calls,
Yeah, have you? And anything pan out yet?
I don't know. As far as acting, I don't know. Maybe because it's in Hawaii, I have a hard time getting stuff because I look too haole to be local, but I look too local to be white. You know what I mean? And there's not a lot of Hispanic parts, and so I just get washed out.
And yet, you don't look as haole as the rest of the cast.
Exactly. Right. So
so you kind of fit in.
I don't belong anywhere.
Yeah. So we're calling you folks Hawaii 5-0 casting.
Yeah.
Fernando, the Love Machine.
Yeah. If you need a waiter, a groundskeeper, I'm your guy. Right. I'm your guy.
The guy watering the...
That sees the murder.
Right there, right? And in the background, giving your statement.
Yeah.
You're perfect for
yeah.
it, right? Because you're in radio, so you got that look, right?
That's
yeah.
What they say. yeah. The look for radio.
Right. Talk to me about growing up on a dairy. I was guessing, what high school you went to. You did share. You're a proud Pro City Charger.
Yes, Greatness Predicts 96. Yes.
Is that your?
Yeah, I still got it on my keychain. See that?
96.
Any way you turn it, it's still
right.
very
And that's
proud.
a wonderful thing. Hawaii people, our tradition, the way we connect the first time with people is always that question: what school you went?
Right.
And then we do our best to become related. Right. Do you know so-and-so?
Right? Yeah. That's the basis. That's the platform for the relationship. It's based on that.
Right. Except I don't recall a dairy being in the Pearl City area.
That's true. Although there were some days where there was a loose cow in the in the parking lot. But yeah, you're right. I actually grew up in Waianae.
Okay.
So out in the valley, there's a few dairies out there. So that's where I grew up. My grandfather worked the dairy, and I was raised by a single mom, and so. We lived with my grandparents.
Right on.
So yeah, I was just on the dairy, literally living on the dairy, across the street or the road, the dirt road
for me. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you just see cows. I mean, it's nothing now, but yeah. So I would see cows all day, every day, and so I just thought, I'm probably going to be a cow when I grow up.
Yeah, they had the best life, right?
Yeah.
They just kind of cruise until it's feeding time.
When I was a toddler, I would make my mom serve me like I'm a cow. Like I would go around the living room, moo, moo, and come back around. She'd feed me with a spoon, come around again, moo.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you didn't become the cow yet?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Give me time.
You never know.
Yeah, anything's possible.
You could write your own movie, your own television series, and star in it.
Made for TV movie. That'd be the way I'd go. That's what I want.
Straight to TV. Talk to me about your music.
Sure.
I was sharing with you. I had the pleasure of meeting your guitarist this summer. Just an unassuming guy. When he said it, I finally remembered him from all of your videos.
Right.
And yet, I would never think that he was, rocking out. And even you sitting here, just seeing you on stage, and then as well as in your videos.
That's the thing about my band. We all have very regular lifestyles, and so we all just secretly are out there amongst you, librarians, teachers, accountants.
So it's sort of like you folks are superheroes. It's like you're Clark Kent today.
Yeah.
Superman on the stage. So how did it all start? I know you were at Go Jimmy Go first.
Yeah.
Playing your trombone, which is amazing that you can be in a rock band and you lead trombone.
Yeah, well, actually, even before I was in Go Jimmy Go, I was in a band called Exit 24, and we're all UH guys, and we'd play ska shows with Go Jimmy Go a lot, and so after a while, we'd kind of get to know each other. We did a tour together to Johnston Atoll to play for the military over there, and during that time, they were, Go Jimmy Go only had one horn player at the time. And I think I was the only horn player at the time? Yeah, so after we got back from tour, Exit 24 broke up. And so I got into Go Jimmy Go. Actually, I was told. All I said was I sent an email to Go Jimmy Go saying, if you need, I know you only have one horn player. I know you're recording your first album. If you need an extra horn, let me know. And then I got an email from their manager, I think a week later, saying, you're in the band now. Here's the shows coming up.
So sort of like the way I approached you for being a guest on your just last night.
Yeah.
When I felt it. And talk to me about Pimp Out. How did that start though? Same UH friends? Because I know some are UH alumni.
Yeah, well, some of the guys, both the founding members and the guys now, were guys in that original band, Exit 24. Because I was returning back to that style. Because Exit 24 was ska punk. There's three waves of ska. I don't want to really get into it, but yeah. So Go Jimmy Go, a lot of people know us. And part of the reason why they're as popular as they are is that they play first wave ska, which is what they call traditional ska. Has the Jamaican influence.
I hear you.
Right, and so that translates well to the island music here. So that line is very thin, and so people get into it very easily.
I can hear that Jamaican and that little bit of auto harp or that?
Yeah, well, because the reason, the way that the traditional ska started is the guys in Jamaica, they were trying to play doo-wop back in the day, but they were getting it wrong. So kind of, you know, it's supposed to be boom, ja-boom, ja-boom, ja-boom. So, and it started a little to be a bit more jumpy and upbeat than it was intended. And so it turned into ska, and then it slowed down and turned into reggae.
Okay.
So yeah, again, so that's where that island connection is, and that's why it was really easy for Go Jimmy Go to get the success that they've had here in Hawaii. And but at the same time, I have ska punk roots. You know, I listened to a lot of grunge and post punk in high school. So I wanted to get back to that aggressive style, and so I went back to some of the guys that I previously played with. And it's been an evolution. You know, some of the guys from Exit 24 that joined Pimpot, they left after a while. They got some other guys. So Tom Coleman, the guitar player that we're talking about, he was actually one of the guys in Exit 24. He wasn't there to start the band with us, but when we needed him, when we started taking on water and we were wondering whether, you know, do we continue, that's when he joined, and it's been history ever since.
So there they are right there on the screen. That's your bandmates, and that's Tom there on the far left.
Yeah.
Pimpbot. Are you folks going on tour soon? Anything we need to know?
We're actually in the studio recording our 4th full-length album.
Okay.
Yeah.
Set to.
We'd like to get it out this year, just so that we can go and lose at the Hokus next year.
And that's right. You folks have been nominated
several times.
Quite a few times.
Yeah. And but you know, we understand that rock and alternative music isn't widely accepted in Hawaii. You know, as soon as people hear a distortion, usually that's when the local guys just say, "What is that? Alternative? What is that? Devil kind music, bro?" And that's fine, you know.
Where's Kiakua?
Yeah. So and so that's fine. I enjoy going to the awards ceremony and speaking with other musicians. It's almost as an awareness to letting people know that there's a diverse culture here, that we're not all just playing ukuleles and feeding dolphins on the beach. You know, there's a lot going on, and a lot that can be shared and representative of Hawaii in other places. Like we represented Hawaii South by Southwest.
Yes.
And that's an amazing opportunity, and I'm glad to do that kind of stuff.
You know, there's some irony in what you're talking about, where we're educating our local community about rock bands and ska bands here in Hawaii, and it was almost the same experience when it was the Hawaiian Music Awards in the for the Grammys.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, for the Grammys, where a lot of us back home are like, wait, that's not, you know, so and so should have, you know, and then they did away with the whole award to begin with, right? So I was really disappointed that they did away with the award, and hopefully
you work so hard to get it, right? To get it out there, and then once it's there, how do you manage it? And
right, and how do you make sure that, you know, the people are really creating the same music? It's just like when the heavy metal award came out, and who won the first heavy metal Grammy was, I think, Jethro Tull, and they beat out Metallica. You know? Again, it's just about education.
Yeah, right? There's an evolution to it all.
Yes,
you know?
And so hopefully, you know, this year you folks get your album out, be nominated, sit at the table of all the nominees. You know, get your mailile.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and then again, learn and build relationships, right?
Yes.
I just recently went to Amy Hanaili and Willie K are launching their new album. Amazing. I went to a little private party for them. The album is coming out. It's amazing. So you guys might have competition.
Well, we've lost to Willie K before, so I'm well prepared. Even if I lose, I mean, I'm totally not a sore loser. I believe in losing with style, you know, and winning or not, people are going to know I'm there. Or we're there. You know what I mean?
With the love machine, right? The love machine is coming. There's one thing I want to talk about. Thank you so much for sharing about just growing up on the dairy and your music. There was one of your blog posts back from 2011 that always stuck with me. And I remember our mutual...
This is the Fern Dog blog.
Yes, right? Fern Dog. Yeah, I don't think you're blogging there anymore too much.
Not too much. Not since I got the Bean 808 gig.
Right, so, right. And I refer back to it every once in a while because I too am a parent, and just to remind me and refresh me. And the title of it is Doodle Boys and Shishi Girls, a look at bullying in Hawaii. And when we talk about bullying, it's like there really is bullying 2.0 now, because it happens on social media. Yet, you know, you talked about these labels that you got, or kids got,
Yeah.
I got, you know, when you're in school.
Yeah.
You know, and then you shared about your fear of your daughter.
Yeah. And then since then, I have another daughter now. So now 2 girls to worry about. So yeah, it's all about, you know, when they do start going to school, I want to make sure their hair is nice, or, you know, because it's always that girl that, you know, shows up to the playground like that with the ponytail, funny kind. They're like, oh, she girl status right there. The triggers are so easy on the playground.
Yes. You know, and it's not, it doesn't start, I don't think, like, I think that children are a lot more innocent, that it doesn't start out as, do the boy, she girl, it starts out as, you look different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and let's have fun.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Let's have fun. How is she doing, though?
Oh, she's doing great.
Yes.
You know, she's not in school yet,
Mm-hmm.
but as far as social activities, she does dance and everything. And
yes.
From what I see, the girls like her. You know, I don't know what happens when the doors close and let go hands and push her. No. She's doing well so far. And then my youngest one, she's 14 months, and she seems like a titta. So who knows? She might be protecting her older sister.
Right. We're going to go to a commercial. Okay. And when we come back, what I'm going to talk to Fernando about, just a little bit about being a parent, using social media, and any constraints or green lights that he has for his children. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jay Fidel. I'm here with Liz Shue, and we love Agritech. In fact, she's from the Department of Agriculture, and we're underwater, gurgle, 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 and we love things that have to do with agriculture, aquaponics, hydroponics, all that. So Liz, what is your interest in this?
To grow more local food for local people.
I knew that.
Yes.
Okay, it's 4 to 5 every other Monday. Come and see us on Agritech in the Islands. I'm Jay Fidel. Come learn with us. We'll see you then.
Aloha.
Aloha, this is Neenz Feleafine with Reaching Out, and we're back with Fernando the Love Machine Pacheco. I just love to say that because I've listened to him for years. What we're going to be touching upon right now is just being a parent and allowing or disallowing engagement with your children. His children are very young. I believe your daughter is now 7.
4.
Or 4?
Yeah.
Well, she's only 4.
Yeah, she's only 4.
Huh. She's still young.
Yeah.
And so how much engagement do you allow her? Like, she has her own iPad? I mean, like, times have changed. Like, I'm asking you because other families have shocked me.
Right. Well, we have the iPads out there, you know, but it's mostly just games. Okay. My oldest one, she's still grasping on what the internet is. She doesn't understand how, if I bring a photo up on my desktop, how it pops up on the iPad.
Yes,
you know, so there's no desire for digital engagement at this point. But then at this point in their lives, I think the real question is, how much of them do I share with the rest of the world? How much do I post about
And how
them?
are you?
I'm very transparent.
Okay.
Since day one.
You have always been, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be where I am now if I wasn't totally transparent. If I fart, the world's going to know about it, you know. There's this, going back to Pimpbot, in the MySpace days, there's a term that I don't think we coined, but it's something that we always threw around at each other. When we first realized what blogging was, you know, that little window on the right side of MySpace is blog. Okay, so when we would do things, especially on tour, we would always say, "Oh, this is so blog-worthy.
Yes.
This is so blog-worthy," and then we'd take a photo of it and talk about it.
Right.
And so that kind of put me in this culture, or this routine of just whatever I do, whether it be my band or whatever, like, this is what I'm doing. And so the whole world always knew what I was doing, and it created a lot of opportunity. I don't suggest it for everyone, because I understand that some people want the privacy, especially with kids now. But yeah, I mean, people realize that I can write, you know, I can do this, I can do that, and so that's created a lot of avenues for me. And again, I wouldn't be a full-time blogger if people didn't know who I was, if Fern Rocks on Twitter didn't exist.
You know, for me, I'm absolutely transparent as well. People know I'm here with you before I even get here.
Right.
And everything that I go through, and I'm just completely honest about what's happening in here, and what I'm thinking of, because I need the feedback from others and that support.
Right.
However, I'm very cautious with my children.
Okay. So as far as with me and my kids, you know, as far as what they're wearing, you know, because I know there's sickles out there, so
Yes.
you know, I always make sure they're fully covered up. But I'm not a rich guy, you know, as far as like, you know, growing up, you know, when everyone's getting jobs, you know, it's always like, oh, my dad knows somebody, you know, like I never had the parents that knew somebody. Somehow in my family, nobody knew anybody.
Hey,
and
you knew the dairy.
Yeah, and after the dairy closed, I just let the cows go down the street, and that was it. And so, you know, I don't have a lot of money to pass on, you know, to my kids or whatever. So the greatest gift that I can give them is notoriety. And because in my family, there's never been a D-list celebrity before. And so, you know, I'm the first one in my family. And so when my kids, you know, when it's time to seek out opportunities, if them being a daughter of me can help them in any way, I want to create that opportunity. If they're ashamed of me, they can easily just go by some other name or just not even talk about it. There's a lot of Pachecos here, right? So
they'll say they're the Maui Pachecos.
Yeah, exactly,
not
right?
The Pro City ones.
So they can do whatever they want with that, you know. But yeah, that's the greatest gift that I can give them is.
I really see that, you know, like with storytelling and sort of just kind of leaving some kind of legacy, documented legacy. I see all of my content for my next generations to come. Maybe not for the globe, however, at the very least for my great-grandchildren, great, that they can see this interview right here, that we were thinking about them at this very moment, and created the content so that they have, you know, just something like, because I don't really have that. I have the stories, and if I remember it, you know, I've got it. I've got the genealogy, because, you know, I am Hawaiian, right? So we do that. However, I don't have the footage, right? The content, the thoughts in my grandparents' mind or my great-grandparents, and you know, how they were feeling at that time. And I just read about it in history, and I guess.
Sure.
You know, will you allow your children, as soon as they realize, especially your oldest, to create her own media? Because you are the multimedia guy. You're doing videos, blogging, you're on social media, Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah, I'm trying. You know, at the point where she wants to, I'll guide her through it, you know, but I think monitoring, of course, is the biggest deal. And of course, it's for her own protection, you know, like going back to bullying, you know, should that happen, I want to be sure I know about it, you know. And so, yeah, I think, geez, and I know it's right around the corner, too.
It's right around the corner.
It is.
She might be 4.
Yeah. So
by Christmas.
So what is the protocol? Do you say I need to know all of your passwords? Or?
So for us at our home, with my daughter, I told her that she can, well, provided the terms of services allows her to use it, she can go on any social network she chose. However, she had to be responsible for her words, and she had to have the courage to make her friends be responsible for their words on her content. And then from there, she just kind of limited. The rule in our house is no deleting anything from your phone until mommy sees it. So not me, until Noi actually looks. And that has worked. We know that when things get deleted, then it's like, all right, it's time to have a conversation. And it usually is just your usual teen, girl, boy kind of stuff, you know. So the conversation is familiar to us, right? And we can have those conversations. Now, my son, who's 10, I've broken all the rules for him. And speaking of covering him up, like when we're at home, he's an underwear boy, right? In his boxers, he tells me it's hot. And so his content, he doesn't realize, like when he's filming himself in a video before he uploads it, I tell him, like, this is not, like, the content is great. Your message is great. You're very funny. However, you put on some clothes before you upload that. You know, and sometimes he sneaks away with it. And then I'll comment. Take this off. You know, and so that's where I am. Other parents are a little bit more lenient or a lot more strict. You know, I've learned that we can say no as much as we want. I was a teen. We're going to figure out a way.
Oh, for sure.
You know, to do it.
And with new emerging ones, you know, like Snapchat, you know, like, I don't know anything about those.
That's the one I don't really like. Because there's no trail for me. So there might be trail on somebody's server, right? However, there's no trail of evidence that what was sent and what was said. And so then I just have to trust, right? And then I just trust. And that's all about parenting, right?
Yeah.
Where we trust, you know. So we got into storytelling through your blogging, and it's great that you're leaving that, you know, for your children. And somewhere along the way, while you were rocking out, you know, playing your trombone, DJing, you know, live on the radio, you became the full-time blogger for Being 808, which is HMSA's health and wellness blog. One of my favorites.
Well, thank you for contributing.
Yeah, you're welcome. I was reading it just for my own personal inspiration and knowledge since you folks launched. I thought it was just genius. Oh, why didn't we think of it before?
Yeah.
You know? So what's the genesis of Being 808?
Well, you know Adam Smith.
Yes.
Right? So he was the relationship manager with HMSA at the time.
I just saw him.
Yeah,
in
our customer relations department.
Okay.
And so within customer relations at HMSA, we're always very innovative, you know, trying to look for, looking forward for a way to engage with our members. And so this was just one of those ways, you know, more of an experiment, you know, just to see how it went.
So it really was an experiment then?
Yeah, and you know, if you were to look at Being 808 when it first started, or even now, you don't see a whole lot of HMSA logos placed all over the place. And it's not being secretive, of course, we always want to be transparent.
No, it's right there in the about,
Yeah, if you read about, but but it's not like you don't see the logo stamped all over the place. And the only reason for that is because we want that engagement with everyone. It's not, oh, if you don't have HMSA, don't talk to us. We don't care about how much you run. You know? Don't even say Thrive.
Members only.
You know, so it's very open, you know, and we're just all really in it together, you know, to become a healthier Hawaii. And especially with the Blue Zones project. Have you heard about this?
Yes.
So HMSA is adopting that very much so, you know, and trying to get just people healthier everywhere.
For the viewers that don't know, let's talk a little bit more about the Blue Zones.
Okay, well, the Blue Zones project, basically, when I first heard about it, I don't want to say layman's terms, but the way, if you don't know a whole lot about it, you'll say it's these really these small communities throughout the world where just everyone's like, I guess people get noticed because they start living like a really long time. You know, the lifespan is like really long, like definitely into the hundreds, easily. A really healthy older community. And of course that's rare. And so people are wondering, well, why is this happening? You know, how is this happening? What's your secret? And so the Blue Zones organization, they went to all of these pockets, you know, and took a look at these communities. And they see patterns and things like that. And so one of the things is creating a moai, a small community where people can still engage, because I think we've all had a grandparent or know of a grandparent of a friend that, you know, once that last day, once they retire, they just kind of just sit there, right, and just slowly decay after that. It's important to have a social connection that still exists, you know, with peers, and to still feel like you're needed in some capacity, and of course, you know, you're bonded through a common interest. So, you know, some people like drinking tea, you know, things like that, or, you know, in Europe, they love the red wine and things like that. And so that's basically what the Blue Zones project is about, is finding people that have the same healthy type of connection, you know, whether it be people that are really into salads, people that are really into smoothies, people that are really into yoga.
Right. Or the latest wave, people really into CrossFit. I first heard about the Blue Zones because Oprah did a feature on it.
Okay.
I didn't see the show, I actually read about it. And it talked about just what I call the peace of mind square, just the four primary areas of your life: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and how you pay attention to those. And find harmony in that. My grandmother, my paternal grandmother, just turned 90.
Wow.
And I can see how she's a moderate eater, you know, very, very much in tune spiritually. English is her second language, however, she will read and challenge herself to expand her mind, you know, and then of course she always walked and make sure we did something physical. So I can see, like, she's in her 90s and, you know, she looks healthier than ever. Yes, she's not as moving as fast as she was, you know, years ago, except there is truth in that, in finding that harmony in the primary areas of your life. And I see how Being808.com addresses that, you know, through personal testimony and storytelling.
And you know, it all forms very organically. You know, one example is 808 Green Thumbs, which is our gardening group within Being 808. And really it formed just by a Facebook group, micro community within health, and just asking people, hey, anybody else into gardening? And people, yeah, I'm into it. They invite someone else. After we'll start talking about plants, like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we met up once in a while and started, you know, just exchanging seedlings or whatever. That's how the seedling swaps were born.
Oh, okay.
And once we started meeting up, you know, people would say, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we showed each other what we made with the things that we grew that we get from the seedling swaps? And so we were showing dishes that we used. You know, I used kale in this salad from a seedling that I got at the seedling swap. And so it snowballed, and it's the community that built this. We're just there to make sure nobody tries to hop on and try to sell sunglasses.
Yes.
You know, other than that,
you have to watch that.
Yeah, other than the spam, you know, like it's the community that runs it, and it's a beautiful thing, it's a magical thing, and it's an honor to be part of it. Right.
It's that collaboration that I talk about in social media. Right. There's collaboration is the second C that I talk about. Communication first and collaboration, and in that collaboration is where the power, the magic of social media resides.
Yes.
Yet it's the scariest, because then you want to worry about the spam, right? That ends up there, and or attracting the wrong people. Yet if the intention is there, right? If the intention is there, you'll attract the right people. So what's next for Being 808? I saw that the website changed a little bit.
Yeah,
and it sounds like you folks have the support from leadership to kind of
definitely
allow this being, because my favorite campaign was 808 Strong.
Oh, right.
Hashtag 808 Strong. You know, and just sharing photos of different challenges that you folks put out there.
Sure.
You know?
And then also, you know, I noticed, because we learn a lot, you know, we watch trends and what also is going on in social media. And so we noticed that hashtags change with time.
Yes.
You know, and so while it's always cool to be 808 strong, again, micro community, you know, see what people are into, and there's a hashtag that'll express that. You know, like right now, we are live, right? So it's Halloween time. We all know this. We all know this. Okay. So there's Healthy Halloween, right?
Yes.
Healthy Halloween Hawaii. That's a hashtag that we have right now. And so we're doing a contest, partnering up with Down to Earth, and we tell people, oh, you know, just hashtag on Instagram. What are you doing healthy? You could be in a Superman costume holding a banana. Right. That is healthy. You know, share it.
Right.
And so yeah. So I think it's useful to have both not stagnant, but stoic hashtags that are always going to be there, and ones that change with time, because it's about trending.
We're going to go to a commercial right now, and when we return, we're going to talk some more about being808.com and get Fernando's thoughts on where he thinks the future of blogging is going. We'll be right back. Mahalo.
Oh my goodness gracious, are you in luck? You know what? The hurricane blew away the biggest storytelling event in the state, and we rescheduled it. The Department of Parks and Recreation announces the 26th annual Talk Story Festival, the biggest celebration that you've ever seen. Now hold on to your hat. After Halloween, the next weekend on November 7th and 8th. That's what? You're right, 7th and 8th, from 6 to 9 o'clock, both nights, free. Spooky stories on Friday night. The best storytellers, we're bringing them in from the Big Island and from Maui. Oh my goodness, don't come alone. And on Saturday, it's beyond us. 8 of us are coming together and passing the story of Pele and Hi'iaka, the biggest epic tale the Hawaiians have yet produced in print. We're going to put it on our tongues and spit it out. Here's a word to the wise. Smart birds who love stories go down to McCoy Pavilion November 7th and 8th for story time. 6 to 9, absolutely free. Brought to you by your Parks Department. Can you tell? I'm really excited. I'm really
Aloha, this is Neenz Feleafine, and you're tuning in to Reaching Out. I'm here with Fernando, the Love Machine Pacheco, and we're talking about the website that he helps to run, being808.com, which is HMSA's health and wellness. We touched upon just kind of inspiring people through storytelling, and now I want to get more into what's next for Being808 before we shift on.
Well, as always, you know, we're trying to expand. You know, and that's in everything we do. You know, we're trying to get more guest bloggers because there's a lot more micro communities within health that, you know, we don't have enough people to cover everything that's going on, and like you said with CrossFit, and there's always new trends coming out, and so it'd be great to have people that are specialized in that one thing that can share different aspects of that journey. And
what does it take to get recruited?
Oh, just reach out to us, and of course we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter @Being808, or if you go to the website being808.com, there's a contact link there, or you can just email us being808@gmail.com. But either way, we try to be quick to respond. Within 24 hours, we're gonna say, hey, saw your message, thanks for reaching out to us.
Yes, I was very honored that you folks reached out to me, and we were talking a little bit. I go through these waves of blogging, specifically with Being 808, and a lot of it is because I don't want to sound hypocritical, right?
Right.
I don't want to say, hey, get out there and go walking when I'm not.
Right.
It's only if I'm actually doing something. And so I welcome everyone. If you're watching or you know someone that could contribute value to being808.com, get in touch with them on their website. Before we shift on to the future, where you see blogging going, any readership strategies for our viewers? I'm sure a lot of people have their own personal blogs. They have a voice. They want to talk about something.
Right.
Anything that you can share that you folks have used or leveraged to actually attract more?
A lot of the strategies that we've been employing have been things that I learned at the social media summits.
Yep.
Which you've been a presenter at, or your organization has been a presenter at, and you just learn a lot of different strategies that are going on for a lot of different companies, because of course there's different angles that you can attack it with. Because some companies want to be out there, but they don't want the engagement.
Yes.
And
that would be my personal blog.
You read it, but
you read it, no comments.
Yeah. Yeah, and so because we want to be out there and we always want that constant back and forth, and so we focus more on strategies. I can't say that today. that focuses on that, or caters to that, and so. But there's as far as getting our blog out there, getting people to read it, there were things that, and I don't mind sharing this. Not like these are secrets that I came up with. They say. To pose a lot of questions, and especially in the titles, because you think about when a person is doing a Google search, they're like, this broke, how can I fix it?
Yes,
there's always a question,
right.
And so when Google's looking, if there's a question that matches, of course it's going to pop up, and so that helps a lot. Yeah, looking at our stats every day, a large chunk of it, I would say, almost a third is from. Google searches, where you think, oh no, it's definitely coming from Facebook because we're
right. Like who's searching anymore?
But
right?
but there's brand awareness, and then there's blogging for SEO, right?
Yes.
And so, but yeah, other things too that I started experimenting with this year is keywords. Just looking for things that are trending and just riding the wave. And finding the trends are so much easier now than it was a year ago.
Yes.
Right? First with Twitter, you can see what's trending. You can localize it, what's trending in the area, and then Facebook caught on, and you can see what's trending now. It's so easy for me to do my radio show now. As far as the show prep, I'll just look to the right-hand column. I'm like, hey, that's goofy. I'll make fun of that.
Right.
And so it's easy to find what's trending there, and of course with seasons, finding trending topics.
There's so much data now.
Yeah.
We were first on Twitter, like you could barely even find a user of the service, right? You had to guess or just kind of start engaging. There's so much data out there to create your strategies. A couple other strategies I use too is not just the question one. Question one always works. Question the title, and then you end with a question, right?
Right.
To ask out. And then I also use how-tos.
Yeah.
Right? People are constantly how to do this, how to do that, and then top tens. Lists.
Yes.
We
My
just love
editor is
lists.
big on lists. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And for every right, she has every right to think that way, because you look at was it BuzzFeed and everything? It's always like
always
7 top hottest actresses to mess up on the beach, or that kind of stuff.
Right.
So yeah, like it's always a list, and whenever you go there, it's always a slideshow.
Yes.
Right? It's never like, oh, I can see the whole list on one page.
Yeah. No,
it's always like,
it is a slideshow and page impressions and all of that data that's coming from it, as well as when you said lists, and when I think of lists, I always think of David Letterman.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
it's
true.
like I would sneak and watch that portion. I was supposed to be in bed already.
Right.
And watch that portion just to hear the top 10 list, you know. And yet
Yeah.
it works for him. Of course, it's going to work.
Yeah.
You know, for everyone else on the internet.
It's tried and true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So right on. Hopefully, people get in touch with you, and I have a couple of referrals too that I thought of.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you, where do you see like blogging going? You know, people said because now there's Facebook, social media, or social networks, that blogging is going to die, and I'm wanting to say no.
No.
I disagree. Even though I'm not as much of a blogger anymore, or inconsistent, I should say. I go through waves. There's still people out there with their voices.
Yeah.
You know.
Because we're always going to need content, and so it's just what happens. The blog, if it's external, that's the landing page for your content. And that's all it is. Because the term blogging itself, I mean, your statuses on Facebook and Twitter, that is blogging. It's microblogging, right?
Right.
And so, and because there's more outlets, more people trying to supply all this information, there's always going to be that that need for content. And so blogs are what's giving it to them. It's what's fueling it, in my opinion.
I think so too. Like the more information that's out there, yes, there's the argument to be made. What's credible information? What's valuable or what's useful? That's, to me, it's up to the reader.
Yeah.
We have that choice now, to read it or not to read it.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about where, I guess, visual blogging, video blogging, vlogging, the social media world, we make up our own terms, right?
Sure.
Blogging now.
Yeah.
Is that something that you're looking at, or Being 808 is looking at?
Yeah, we've already experimented in vlogging, and I would say, what's the difference between doing a regular YouTube video and a vlog? And for me, from a technical standpoint, it's about the editing style. A lot of vlogging is single camera. You don't cut to other ones. It's just one camera, and that's why all the vlogs are fairly quick. It's just a few minutes because you're just one camera. You're going to edit it afterwards, and you say a funny joke, and you look at your cards, and you think, okay, and then here's another one, okay, and then afterwards it's just like jump cuts, and it's all the same angle. So that's the vlogging, and we've done that with our Veggie Dads Challenge, which is a campaign that we do around Father's Day to get healthy dads going.
Or vlogging is just like one long sentence. Where people just read that. So besides Being 808.com, what blogs do you read?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Right now, because of the lava flow and everything, or just everything that's been happening to the Big Island, Damon Tucker, who does the Big Island blog over in Hilo. We actually graduated from UH together.
Oh.
We're both studied communication.
Yeah, he lives in Pahoa, right?
Yeah.
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 So he's going to be affected.
He moved out of his home already, and but yeah, I do check out his blog a lot. And then after that, I'm not really loyal to any blogs. I let it come and get me.
Right. If you see something, or from what I get from you, like whatever's trending, right? If it's interesting enough for you, I'll check it out.
Yeah. And then I also have the Walk of Shame blog.
Yes.
And that's a duty that a lot of on-air personalities have to do now. It's not just crack the mic from 6 to 10 in the morning and then you're done.
Right.
You have to be engaged. You have to be available digitally. To all of your.
You've got
listeners.
a blog. You've got to be on Instagram. We need to be able to talk to you as well on Facebook.
Yeah.
On Twitter, and you were doing that way before any of the others.
Actually, can I be honest? Like I was blogging back in the late '90s through GeoCities.
Yes.
I had my own page on GeoCities in Sunset Strip. Not sure if anyone remember. We had they tried to make it like a real city, right? So I was on Sunset Strip in GeoCities, and I would have the Fern Weekly update, and I would choose like 5 things that happened in my week, no matter how personal it was, and put it up there.
Right. So when it comes to radio personalities, you really were the first to actually get on social media and start sharing, your thoughts and everything. I want to thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
We've run out of time. I appreciate all of you viewing in, and please go to being808.com. Get in touch with Fernando if you're interested in contributing. Mahalo.